The story begins by showing a man who is being chased by everyone. With all his might, the man continues to run because if he is caught, then the man will definitely be killed. The reason the man was being chased by everyone was because he had just won a lottery draw with a prize of $2.2 billion.
Eat this.
Before continuing, let me explain a little. Back in the day, the American government would randomly give out lottery vouchers every 6 months with fantastic prizes to all citizens. The lottery winner had to wait and hold on for 9 hours before the prize was dispersed. However, during those 9 hours, everyone was allowed to snatch the lottery from the winner by finishing him off. If the winner is eliminated, the lottery prize will automatically go to the person who eliminated him, with one condition: no firearms. The government also monitors the winner using sophisticated drone cameras that are broadcast live. So wherever the winner goes, he will definitely be spotted. For this reason, everyone chased the man who won the lottery to collect his prize. The man, already confused about where else to hide, went to the house of an old grandmother and immediately threatened her with a knife. The man asked the grandmother not to divulge his whereabouts to anyone before the lottery-winning whistle was blown, about 10 minutes away. The frightened old lady agreed, and they went inside. But unbeknownst to the man, apparently, the surveillance camera drone had managed to find him, so it was certain that soon everyone would come to the house. Then, the man asked the old lady for medicine to treat his wound. However, when the old lady was about to treat the wound, suddenly, the old lady shot the man. Apparently, she also wanted to hunt down the man to win the lottery prize. Not long after, some people came, but they were disappointed because the man had been successfully eliminated by the old lady. The lottery whistle was blown, and it was now official that the old lady was the winner. Even though the old lady shot the man, she was still the winner because the gun she used was only a gun filled with poison needles.
Going to Legoland!
Then we are introduced to a woman named Katie, who is riding a bus. We are told that it was only today that Katie set foot in America because she had previously lived in Asia. Katie dreams of becoming a film actress, and she will try her luck in America, hoping to become a famous artist. Soon after, Katie chatted with an old lady beside her who asked her where she was going. Katie replied that she was looking for a temporary place to stay, as she had just moved to America. The grandmother also asked Katie to be vigilant because the crime rate is very high here. When she got off the bus, Katie realized that she had just stolen her watch. Unfortunately, Katie couldn't catch up because she had already run away. At the same time, TV news broadcasts that the government has distributed lottery vouchers to all citizens. The prize is also getting bigger, which is $3.6 billion and will be drawn tomorrow to find out who the winner is. Katie asked the bus driver what the prize was, but he wouldn't answer. The short story shows Katie looking at a boarding house, and we are introduced to the owner, Shadi. Shadi continues to persuade Katie that she wants to stay at her place until she finally decides to stay at Shadi's boarding house. Later, Shadi introduces Katie to his boyfriend, DJ.
This is DJ.
The next morning, Katie woke up because the liquid was dripping from the roof. The liquid also soiled all of Katie's clothes, even though the clothes Katie would use to audition for the film. Obviously, Katie was immediately angry and contacted Shadi to complain and ask what the liquid was. When connected, Shadi apologized because she forgot to tell her that the roof of the room was leaking. The leak was caused by the upper room's septic tank, which meant the liquid was human feces. Hearing all this, Katie is clearly angry and doesn't want to know that Shadi has to change her clothes for today's film audition.
Fine.
Shortly after, Katie is seen wearing Shadi's clothes and then sets off in a taxi for the film audition. On the way, the taxi driver asks if Katie has a lottery voucher that will be drawn today. Katie replies that she is not familiar with the lottery because she has just arrived in America. In short, Katie arrived at the film audition venue and went inside. Several people were already queuing for the audition. Luckily, Katie had registered in advance, so the committee immediately called her first. Once inside, Katie was interviewed about where she came from and why she was interested in becoming an actress. Katie told the interviewer that she was from Asia. Katie deliberately came to America just to audition for this film. She hopes that she will be chosen to be an actress because that has been her dream since she was a child. When Katie was about to continue her story, she accidentally reached into the pocket of the shirt given by Shadi and found something. When she looked at it, it turned out to be a lottery voucher, which automatically verified Katie's face as a lottery participant. Katie, who didn't care about it, ignored it and continued her interview.
A little?
Give me my money back.
You paid to be seen.
10 minutes later, Katie walked out of the room feeling anxious. She was afraid that she would fail the test, and she only had $100. At the same time, the lottery draw was announced, and surprisingly, Katie was chosen as the winner. As we know, the winner of the lottery must survive for 9 hours, and anyone can snatch the prize by eliminating the winner without using a firearm. Katie herself is silent because she doesn't understand this. Then, all the people who were there suddenly immediately attacked Katie. With a makeshift ability, Katie tried to avoid the attack, and she was very confused about why these people attacked her. Katie then hid somewhere because she thought the place was safe, but when she looked ahead, it turned out that the place was a karate training ground, and they all immediately attacked Katie. Katie kept trying to get away while shouting, "What the hell is going on?" Someone there replied that Katie had hit the lottery jackpot, and they all wanted the prize too. In the midst of the commotion, a big man arrives who intends to protect Katie. That man was Noel. Here, Katie asked why Noel was suddenly willing to help her. Noel replied that he was a former mercenary. Noel promised to continue protecting Katie until the whistle blew, as long as Katie was willing to give him a 10% share. Without thinking, Katie immediately agreed. Later, Noel returned to brutality because everyone kept coming to kill Katie. After successfully making them all helpless, Noel immediately took Katie out of there and went towards the car. Meanwhile, it seems that everyone has just received notification that the winner of the lottery prize is Katie. They immediately prepared combat equipment and flocked to hunt down Katie, including the grandmother who had stolen Katie's watch on the bus. Not only that, all the media and radio also broadcast that Katie had officially become the winner and was given 9 hours to defend her prize. Katie, who heard the news from the car radio, immediately asked Noel to explain everything. Noel said that Katie had won the lottery draw with a prize of $3.6 billion. The lottery had become a tradition that was held every 6 months, and the government even organized it. The government also allowed everyone to hunt Katie down if they wanted to claim the prize. Katie finally realized that the voucher she had previously gotten from Shadi's shirt pocket was a lottery voucher. However, Katie thinks all of this is ridiculous and inhumane murder. Noel explains that the government deliberately made this event to reduce the growing human population. There are 2 ways if Katie wants to end the game. First, she can commit suicide, and second, she has to leave the country. That way, the government would forfeit her prize and reshuffle a new lottery. Noel asked Katie to stay calm because, for the next 9 hours, he would continue to protect Katie. Soon after, some people on motorcycles started chasing them, and a chase ensued. Fortunately, Noel had decent driving skills, so he was able to trick them all. Once it was safe, Noel and Katie decided to take a short break. However, another squad came after them, so there was another chase. In the middle of the chase, one person managed to get into the car and tried to kill Katie, but fortunately, Noel immediately took action. Then, Noel asked Katie to drive while he moved to the back to fight the people who were chasing her. Finally, Noel was able to flatten them all, but Noel's car became damaged and could no longer be used.
Lost him! Hey!
Then, Noel and Katie argued because Katie thought Noel would finish her off, too. But Noel swore that he had no such intention and only asked for 10% of the total prize. In the middle of the argument, 2 policemen suddenly arrived. Katie was very happy because she thought that the 2 policemen would save her. However, it turned out that the 2 policemen were also targeting Katie, but Noel swiftly beat the 2 policemen. Katie then hid in a museum in the middle of the city to calm down for a while. Shortly after that, Katie was contacted by Shadi, the owner of the boarding house, who asked where Katie was now. Katie, who thought that Shadi would help her, immediately told her her current location. Quickly, Shadi immediately invited her boyfriend to come to Katie because it turned out that she was also eyeing Katie to snatch her prize. Once there, Shadi pretended to invite Katie to joke, but suddenly, Katie was brutally attacked and was hit by a knife in the shoulder. However, luckily, Noel arrived on time and immediately took Katie away. On the way, Noelle had an idea so that Katie could hide safely. Apparently, Noelle will take Katie to the house of one of the famous artists who is known for having a particular room. Upon their arrival, the artist didn't let Noelle and Katie in because they didn't know each other. Meanwhile, on the highway, many people were seen chasing Katie and began to enter the artist's yard. Forced, Katie made the artist faint by being shot with a poison gun. Then, Noelle and Katie entered the artist's room. Then they locked it from the inside. After that, Katie and Noelle could rest for a while because the room was very secure and could only be opened using a password. The room was also equipped with CCTV so that they could both see everyone outside the room. A few hours later, there were more and more people, and now they were all trying to break down the door. Shadi, who saw that the artist was unconscious, got the idea to throw him into the pool to wake him up.
Work for this shit? Ah!
Sure enough, the artist regained consciousness, and Shadi immediately asked for the password for his room. In the end, Shadi managed to get the artist's room password, and then she went back inside to open the room. Katie, who saw from the CCTV that Shadi had gotten the password, panicked because soon the room would open.
6, 9.
However, Noelle was able to enlist the help of his former mercenary team to hijack all the phones and blow them up. When Shadi had managed to open the door to the room, suddenly, their cell phones exploded. As a result of the explosion, everyone was in pain and no longer focused on Katie, including Shadi. As a result, Katie and Noelle can easily escape and then be picked up by a team of mercenary colleagues. On the way, Katie asked where she would be taken. Noelle replied that Katie would be taken to the mercenary headquarters so that she would feel safer. Arriving there, Noelle's partner's mercenary chief, Luis, immediately welcomed Katie well. Luis explained that many prize winners had hired his protection services. Luis praised Katie because usually, lottery winners can only last 15 minutes, while Katie lasted several hours. While taking Katie for a walk in his headquarters, Luis said that they would provide protection to Katie as long as she was willing to pay 30% of the total of all her gifts as a protection fee. If she agreed, then she would have to sign the contract with her fingerprints. However, if Katie disagreed, she could get out of there right now. Before agreeing, Katie asked why Luis didn't just finish her off so he could get all the prizes. Luis replied that he doesn't work to kill people but to protect people. In the end, Katie believed him and signed the contract. Later, Katie and Noelle were taken to a room to treat their wounds. Not only that, but Katie also got a face mask so that no one would recognize her. Unfortunately, Katie chose the wrong mask, and her face turned into an old grandfather's.
Hey girl, hey.
A few hours later, Katie and Noelle were visited by Luis, who said that more and more people outside were trying to get in to hunt Katie down. That's because Katie only had 3 hours left before her prize was due. Therefore, Luis feels unsafe if Katie remains hidden there. Luis plans to move Katie to his second base. Apparently, Katie is only allowed to leave alone while Noelle stays there. When walking to the garage, Noelle felt suspicious of Luis. Why wasn't he allowed to come with Katie? While whispering, Noelle said this to Katie, and Katie also felt the same way. Arriving at the garage, Katie asked once again that Noelle be allowed to come with her, but Luis still forbade it because the second base was very secret. As a result, Katie kicked Luis in the crotch while Noelle opened the garage door so that everyone immediately entered. Luckily, Katie had worn an old grandfather mask that made everyone not recognize her. Casually, Katie walked out and fled in Luis' car. Meanwhile, Noelle had to be arrested by Luis' men. After Katie left, Luis came and immediately tortured Noelle. As it turned out, Noelle's suspicions were correct. Luis intended to finish Katie off with his own hands. A few hours later, Katie was seen going to escape to the border. Not long after, she was contacted by Luis via video call. In the call, Luis had pointed a gun at Noelle while saying that he would finish Noelle if Katie did not return immediately. Noelle asked Katie to ignore Luis' words, but Luis immediately shot Noelle's arm. Seeing this, Katie became heartless because, after all, Noelle was the one who had sincerely protected her. In the end, Katie decided to return as long as Noelle was released. Katie was asked to come to Luis' theater studio, and Luis would wait for Katie there. Without thinking, Katie immediately went to the place. Meanwhile, Noelle, whose hands were tied, was taken to the theater studio by Luis. While waiting for Katie to arrive, Noel asked why Luis was doing this. Didn't Luis already have a lot of money? Luis replied that even the wealthiest people are still hungry for money. Then, Luis promised to give 10% of his total prize if Noel would work with him. However, Noel refused. Not long after, Katie arrived with a gun. Here, Katie pointed the gun at herself, because if she died from the weapon, the committee would automatically cancel the prize. Katie asked Luis to release Noel first, and only then would she surrender. However, Luis didn't want to because even if Katie died, he would replace the fingerprints on the gun with his own. That way, the government would consider Luis to have killed Katie, so he would officially get the lottery prize. As a result, Katie gave up and approached Luis. However, suddenly, all the people got a notification on their cell phones about Katie being in the studio theater. So quickly, everyone flocked to go there. Moreover, there was only 1 hour left.
The Hollywood Theater, bitch.
Just as Katie was about to untie Noel's hands, everyone arrived. She chose to avoid the people who attacked her. Not long after, Luis woke up from his stupor and immediately attacked Katie. At the same time, people continued to arrive to hunt Katie down. Noel quickly stopped the people who wanted to attack Katie. Suddenly, Katie could now escape from Luis by biting his hand. Unfortunately, she had to deal with Shadi, who was already there. Luckily, Katie could defeat Shadi quite easily. Meanwhile, Noel is seen, whose bonds on his hands have been released, and he now has to duel with Luis.
You fucking...
Meanwhile, Katie tries to escape by climbing the stairs to hide in a toy rocket. Of course, getting to the top is not easy because everyone keeps chasing Katie, including the old lady who once stole Katie's watch. Luis, who was still dueling with Noel, decided to chase Katie upstairs with the help of his men, while Noel could not join the chase because he had to deal with Luis' men.
Hi, Miss Kim. Good to see you.
It wasn't long before Luis saw Katie make it to the toy rocket. Unfortunately, Luis had also reached there, so inevitably Katie had to fight Luis.
Two people of proud Asian heritage trying to...
In the end, Katie had to hang on and almost fell down. However, unbeknownst to Luis, Katie had managed to pull out the grenade key that was in Luis' suit pocket. Long story short, there was an explosion. Katie fell down, but several groups of people helped her. The hunt for Katie was closed because the time was up. This means that Katie is now officially the winner. All the residents who were previously hunting Katie now help her by catching her from below. After that, all the residents cheered and congratulated Katie because this was the first time anyone had managed to hold on to a lottery prize for 9 hours. Not long after, the lottery committee came and immediately gave all the prizes to Katie. As a thank you to Noel, who had protected her desperately, Katie will also give 50% of the prize to Noel. Then, they both went from there to enjoy the holiday because now they were officially rich people.
Dude, of course you want a super yacht. Everyone wants a...
I did want a super yacht.